we used to have a couple of electrical cabinets here. I've built this shed. I've just got to finish putting the roof on it because we just don't have enough room for all the coax. I thought we could fit it all in, but honestly, it's just too much. What I'm not happy with is there's a bit of a gap at the top here. If I put the roofing felt on, it'll probably break there. So I was thinking some of this checker plate rubber, we'll just put it across the top. Probably glue it down. What do you think? I mean, if it needs new roofing felt next year, you know, we can do that in an hour. And we'll put a board, you know, right across the back here. Just draw all the stuff to it. The 4-inch pipe will come out the wall. A couple of 90-degree bends through there. Get all the gear inside, out of the weather, and then we'll put the coax out the other way. All right. So let me get this roof on. Now, because I've still got a ton of this rubberized checker plate, needs to make it look nice. We could put some in the bottom, couldn't we? And I've got this MDF board, spare, quite a big one. I was just going to cut that along the back. Now, the trouble is, MDF, it's absorbs water, doesn't it? So I'll have to seal it all and paint it. But that'll look nice. And I've got fuse boxes, power supplies, switches, rotator controllers that will go nicely in here. And I tell you what I have found is Shelley do something called a uni. And because I've got a 12 volt power supply and a 24 volt power supply, 24 volts for the GS 2800 and G450, is that this uni thing, it's about, well, in USA money, it'd be about $20. I think it's £14 for ours, and it will measure the 12 volts and the 24 volts, and we can write a little Python script, so when I'm operating I can tell that the cabinet is running at the correct voltage. I'm slightly out of my depth because there's so many pieces of equipment that I've got to bolt together, you know, electrically. So I've bought a little fuse box because otherwise I'll have wires everywhere. So it'd be like, you open it up, it'd be like a little engine room. Because I've got a spare camera, I thought we could put a camera inside. I can just sort of see if the lights are flicking, things like that. Anyway, putting this together was easy peasy. It was not an expensive shed. I thought it was all going to be tongue and groove, but it's not. It's the shitland stuff. That's okay. We'll seal it up if it starts to leak. Obviously, I don't want water getting in on all the gear. You know, we've got mains and everything in here. All right, let's see if this is dry enough now. Not really. I just don't want it moving around when I put the felt on, you know. Okay. Well, not bad. Sticky-ish. .45mm hanging sides. Alright, I just got to do the back. That's Coax distribution box. I've got a bit of daylight here on the peak. I don't know what to do about that. Also the same the other side. And that's made to spec, but I mean, does it matter? I'll get the odd drip in. Maybe I'll put all the equipment down here on the left, you know. It would probably all fit there nicely and give me all this room for other stuff, you know. And we need a proper bolt, I think, top and bottom here. Maybe a weather strip. I just cut down on the drips, really. The odd drip doesn't matter, I'm sure. But we do need something just there, don't we? Hold that together. I've made a, what was that, 3 by 2 or something. It's 100mm by, well, it's 4 inch, it's a 2 by 4. 100mm by 50, but then planed. And it's treated timber. So I've raised the whole thing up off the ground. If you think I've done it wrong, let me know, but I don't know what else I could do, really. On a temporary basis, I just pull this out of the cabinet, Vaseline the connectors. So I've like back to a basic station for the time being. Oh, I'll tell you what we need to do is bring in the 4-square controller. The bucket's on it down there, look, miles away. So right now, all we've got connected is the signature 12.4 and the Delta loop, you know, just for mucking around. I can't switch in the Yagi, not on high power. Well, I'd have to... Oh, motorcycle gone off. I'd have to come up and literally plug the Yagi in. Something I could do, maybe. Right, let's get the tools in and I'll review all this blooming gear we need to... Are you going to move off, mate, or are you just going to rev your engine? Let's start with one of these. So the idea is, if you've not seen this before, this is 2 radio, 8 antennas. Now, if that's all it was, it would be quite easy. But I'm a bit of a complicated person, and I've got certainly as much as 8 antennas. I want left VFO and right VFO. So you can buy another one. And you can get left VFO and right VFO. So that becomes 4 radios and 16 different antennas. But what happens if this guy wants that antenna? So then you buy this. It's called the 8 by AB switch. And what happens, your 8 antennas come in here. When it's got A on the right and B on the left, which I find quite odd actually. I'll swung the other way around. But anyway, what happens is when there's no power, all these will go to this one. So this will be the master, all right, and this will be the slave. Sorry, I've just run in, so I'm out of breath. And this does switching, and so does this. So what the software will do, I'll go to this one here because we're connected here. The software will say, I want this antenna to this radio. So this will go click, click, and then it'll go to either that one or that one. How does it know to go click? Is that we got this. Now this is the really economical thing I was talking about. So this connects, and you can daisy chain these, so I'll come to in a minute. The problem is this port here, pins 1 to 8, connect to pins 1 to 8 here. So then when we change antennas, this goes click, and this tells which set of radios effectively want the data. I mean, it's kind of clever. It's a hell of a matrix. But that leaves us 8 relays, which we can power because we have a 12 volt PSU and a 24 volt PSU. 24 volt we'll come to in a minute. The 12 volt comes into here, and this will supply power across these. All right, so it's a switch. That's easy, but you'll just have to imagine it. If that's the DX Engineering Comtech 4-square controller, that's a 3-wire system, but actually only 2 relays. The one's ground. So that uses the first 2 here. Then John Gendron, he's got a 4-wire triangular array that I want on 20 meters. One of them's going to be ground, so then we've got 3 relays. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That'll mean we've got 3 spare at the end relays to do what we want with. And the trouble is, the other thing we've got is the Array Solutions wrap pack, which I wanted to wire into this, which we can fire 6 relays to give us another 6 antennas. And you might think, what the hell do you want all these antennas for? Well, I've actually worked it out. I really do want them for like low band, 40 meters. You know, very often each band's going to have 2 antennas, a vertical, a dipole, a high dipole, a delta loop. And I want a regular DX commander in there as well. We've got switchable 80 meters and 60 meters. 80 meters will be phased. 60 meters will be phased, but I'll uncut I'll drive that as an Omni, although it's 2 verticals. Because it's just going to be great to one day get 2 people in here, all remote, and drive this whole system and make use of all this. Right, why 24 volts? Because over in a box somewhere, we've got the... I've lost it. Oh yeah, there's the Yaesu 2800. So that's a DC rotator, and I've got the DC 450 as well. So the 2800 will go on the bottom of it. I call it the tower, the mast thing, right? And then we won't use Yaesu's own controller. We'll use this thing and wire it in, and that requires 24 volts. And you can power this between 12 and 48 volts. So we take 48 volts into here. This gets all powered up. Ethernet goes in here, off to the PC, and the magnetic compasses will connect to this, and then any station, there's not a radio there at the moment, but station 2 or station 1 can take control of the rotator and move it around. The 450, I'm thinking 10, 6, 2 and 70 on a little mini quad, and this one, the big one, I don't know, I was thinking of making a custom hex beam for myself, and if I like it, maybe we can sell them. Obviously we've got the switch here for Ethernet, and we've got cameras and all sorts of stuff. And I want this really cool temperature, plus the 24 volt and 24 volt and 12 volt monitoring from Shelly, Uni, UNI. It's cheap as chips, but we can wire it all in. And I've bought little flat twin wire. I've bought some red heat shrink to go along with the black heat shrink. And you open the trunk or the boot of one of these big audio cars, with subwoofers and everything, and all the cabling's really neat. Well, I'm not quite sure if I'm going to be that pedantic, but wouldn't it be nice to have all the cabling nicely done? So, listen, not many sort of educational videos at the moment. I'm just keeping you going on what I'm doing around here. I've got the business to run as well, and all sorts of stuff, going on. And thank God, Tom was down here last week. He helped me clear up. Fantastic. Thanks, Tom. We're in a bit of a mess because we had a massive delivery the other day, so all the boxes and the stuff are back in here. I've got to find a way of getting them upstairs. I'll need some help to do that. And there we are. All right, well, have a lovely day. All right, enjoy your radio. I will be on over the weekend, so I'll see you soon. Enjoy radio. Bye for now.